Jimmy, what day is it? What are we doing? We'll give it a
Tuesday.
back in the
Go
mood.
get Starbucks.
Well, no, we're getting
your car's demo tuned.
on Starbucks. Well, Martin's not gonna be at Starbucks. He usually drinks like Colombian coffee, I think, or Brazilian coffee. We'll drink Starbucks, and then we're going to Titan. We're gonna drive the S13 there. Okay, bye. Every time. Alright, Jimmy, we're stopping at Starbucks, aka Target, aka
The plug.
getting white girl wasted this morning on some Starbs.
I see you being risky parking next to the shopping car holder.
No, it's not risky. I trust a shopping cart more than I trust another driver, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people would think, dude, this is a more dangerous position for me to be in, but the thing is, you can't fit a shopping cart between my drift car and the rail, so how are they gonna affect me? They can't.
But that is definitely a family of 5 next to you, so there's gonna be some little ass kid just...
You know, I would agree with you, but that's a dirty car and I see no fingerprints on the rear doors. You know, I inspect for this stuff when I pull up. If there were fingerprints on those rear doors, I would say, you know what, Jimmy, you're right. There's probably some chilling in there. There's no chilling. No chilling gonna hit this car.
Just an adult.
That's a working adult. Why would there be chilling? We're 9:30 a.m. at Starbucks.
Living the dream.
Jimmy seems like someone who'd be too cool to listen to rock music, but he used to be really into dance cafe dance, so I don't feel guilty making him listen to this.
What's up, guy?
First thing that we're doing with the S15, I don't know if you guys remember, we had the injectors almost at their max duty cycle last time when Martin was tuning the car. So we wanted a little bit more headroom. Maybe we'll push the car over 1,000 wheel just for the heck of it, but like there's no reason for it. So anyway, we had 1200s in it before, and now we've got some 1500s that we're swapping out real quick. But we're gonna need a retune for those. In addition to the bigger injectors, the main goal of today is to tune in the nitrous. So I know we've talked about this a little bit, but in case you're new to this video, in drifting and a lot of cars nowadays, people use nitrous as a spool aid when you have a bigger turbo. This turbo isn't that big, but if we can get an extra 1,000 RPM of power band, yo, Martin's rolling up right now. I hope he's got the flip-flops on. That'll make this car much more drivable. I'm not super knowledgeable about nitrous, but I do know that what we're gonna be playing with, this is basically a fogger, and there's 2 jets here. This is fuel, this is nitrous, and there's little pills that go in here to control the amount of nitrous and the amount of fuel. So you basically have to find the happy medium with this, and because we're using it as a spool aid, we don't really want too much, otherwise the car will start to feel funny when the nitrous goes away. So all these give you a different amount of nitrous and a different amount of fuel, and then we're gonna try to find the happy medium to get an extra, hopefully 1,000 RPM of power band. I'm blown away by how easy nitrous is to work with. Is this why everybody puts nitrous on cars?
Yeah, and it's cheap power.
Dude, that's sick. So we're not even using it to make more power, like I said, we're just using it to broaden that power band. So maybe, I don't know if, I have a strain gauge on my ECU, or sorry, I have a strain gauge on my trans, and maybe Martin might be able to enable no lift shifting today, but it might not be wired up, we're trying to figure that out now.
You want it off or not?
That's up to you.
You feeling ready?
Oh yeah, I mean...
getting hungry?
That's amazing.
Nice patina.
There's your lunch.
First step for Martin is to just dial in the tune with the new injectors. That's what he's doing now, and it sounds sick. I can hear it's a little rich right now. It keeps making all these sick poppy noises. That wasn't even a full pull, and she's at 998. And that's letting off. What you know about them numbers, boy?
Hey.
That's a big number.
I mean, I can take my title today, 1,000 horsepower and a 900.
Ah, this guy. So it actually, it threw an alternator belt, so that might have been why it was breaking up.
Yeah, buddy.
Pretty sick how like it hits 900 and just kind of like holds it.
Oh yeah, it's very pretty bird.
Yeah, but you can't see the like RPM. That's speed, so like it's kind of deceiving. Ah! You stayed on. You stayed on. The alternator belt stayed on. It's so good. Tried to go get another belt. Couldn't get one at a local store, so I think we're done though pretty much before we had nitrous. Where were we at?
So right now we're at about 21, 22 PSI. Car makes a very consistent 940 to 950 at the wheels. It's within 4 or 5 horsepower on 2 consecutive runs. Pretty low duty cycle since we retuned for the larger injectors. And it's ready to go for some more tuning on the nitrous on the bottom end.
We did do one pull that was over 1,000. There's no reason to keep pushing it. I have no desire to make that much power, but is there a way to pull that up? Just because I don't think I filmed that. It disappeared before I did.
There's a carrot. It's not going to be any kind of a full pull, but if you want to claim that it made over 1,000.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. We could probably crank this up to what, 30 PSI and make well over 1,000?
Yeah, I mean, this wouldn't take. I'll probably end up doing it on one of the last pulls. You just focus on the numbers because you don't want that carrot, because that carrot just doesn't look right.
But either way, that's just for the trolls.
Yep.
Hey.
Can you do me a favor? Can you put your hands on those lines again? Make sure that they're not.
Okay.
Put your hands on the lines again. Make sure that's not getting frozen.
Where we are with nitrous right now. You see it coming in a little bit sooner.
That's cool.
A bit more torque already. It's interesting. So this is a good comparison to see the gains from nitrous. So that's almost 200 foot-pounds of torque. When does the nitrous actually kick in?
It's enabled on a window switch to kick in at about 3,300 and disabled by 4,700 where the turbo was at full tilt already. And it comes in for under certain conditions, like it has to have a certain amount of throttle position, a certain amount of manifold pressure in order to engage it. And it looks very seamless. It's a perfect amount of it's a perfect shot, I would say, because you can't see the transition in and out. Almost it almost looks like there's a progressive controller. It's just an on-off switch. It's sized well and it works well because there's no drop off in the torque, and there's no mountain down low where it looks like it's coming on too hard.
Did we end up using a 22 and a 30? Was it?
It was a 22 and a 30. 22 nitrous, 30 fuel, and there was almost minimal correction on the fuel adder map because the fuel pill is sized perfectly well. So
that's pretty cool. And can we see the difference in the horsepower?
yeah, sure. I'll just change that to horsepower.
That's pretty cool, like only having it enabled in such a short amount, like can make it look so smooth.
And that's what you're asking about. I mean, if you feel like the car is dropping out of boost still, see, because what ends up happening with nitrous is because just because it kicks off doesn't mean it goes away. It still consumes it. That's why it's consuming it as the motor's going all the way up. There's some residual that still comes in a small shot like this. That's why your torque line still is a little bit higher going all the way up. Not as much up top, much more drastically down low. So it's a very well tuned in shot of nitrous that almost looks like it's seamless and is part of the motor's power band.
I'm excited to try it. We were gonna try to do this car too today, but we're running a little bit behind, so we're actually gonna hop over to Eurocharge to use their dyno.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. All right, so what's going on with the cream car? Basically, this thing, when I switched over to Ignite, I wanted to play it super, super safe, even though in theory I should be able to run Ignite without changing the tune or anything. I basically boosted the fuel pressure since I can't tune a stock ECU to just play it extra, extra safe. And now today, Martin's gonna get the AFRs correct. And what do you think? I think it should make an extra 30 wheel with proper AFR if I've been running at like low 11s.
Yeah, if you're in low 11s, we get it closer to high 11s, so 12, high 12, just picked up at least 30. And I've also, like, since the last time the car was on the dyno, done new fuel lines, where before we were kind of limited because the stock lines were kind of creating a bottleneck in fuel lines. So now we have proper fuel, better fuel actually, and I'm stoked. You can see it is. That's AFR cut right there. That's why it's not going all the way.
You can also see in terms of torque figure, the car makes about 400 foot-pounds of torque down here. I think it's going to be a little bit more up here, closer to like 450 with the proper fueling. Pick up on that? Barton's in the car, he has my sound canceling headphones on,
yeah,
and it auto hooked up to my phone's Bluetooth and started playing like death metal through it. He's like, I didn't know you're into death metal. I thought he was saying there's a death rattle in my car. This thing is sick. Alright, so we're about where the car needs to be, but Martin's just gonna throw 30 PSI at it for the heck of it. I know it'll take it. My hood might fall. Kind of not the best to compare since we did have the AFR cut before, but you can see that we did pick up quite a bit on this mid-range. But up top, we're kind of at the max efficiency unless we put an intake manifold on there to try to hold the power up top a little bit. The thing is fast. So I have a set of Drift Spec DRs from BC. Oh, technically DS, they changed the name, I always forget. Digressive piston BCs, custom spec'd out for the Chaser. I got the specs from Andy Gray over at Power Vehicles, who's really running all the drift cars over there. And it just so happens that with these cars, you run a really high front spring rate, which kind of helps it from that mushy front feeling and a lot of weird weight transfer stuff that happens. So, the old coilovers that were on here were 12K springs. These ones now we're switching over to a digressive piston, and they're 22K. So in addition to making the car a little bit better feeling for drifting, it's also going to be a lot more forgiving when it comes to being really low. So
that's a lot of K's, boy.
Yeah, it's a lot of K's. So hopefully we'll have a little bit less issues with rubbing with these guys. So I figure I might as well change them before I go and align the car. That way that part's done and I can do the rear later.
Dang.
Literally finishing up the fitment game right now. I really like the Jimmy technique with the fender roller, twisting it by hand instead of just like pulling the whole thing. Really helps you get precise little roll in there.
A little finesse action.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you. Thank you, Jim. Jim Jam.
Right.
I'm gonna get you some gringos, man. You deserve it.
I'm down for gringos, buddy.
Spent a little bit of time this evening dialing in the final fitment and alignment on the Chaser, and we're about to take her for her first test cruise to Jimmy's favorite spot, aka my favorite spot, aka the only place that I go when I have friends in town and they want to eat food. Gringos Locos, open late, great tacos, great food. Yeah, dude, it's open till like 2 a.m. I think. Maybe midnight. Nah, dude, I'm trying. Dude, the owner hit me up and I never responded to his email. I gotta get on that. I'm sorry, man. I appreciate you. I've just been busy and I've been forgetting. We're gonna come eat your tacos, but mainly just because I want to park my JZX in front of your taco place because it looks sick.
Young flex.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I gotta make sure I got the aux. I think I got the aux, dude. Oh, I think I need a dongle. We were freaking out thinking there was like some Japanese music here playing, and then we realized it's 21 Pilots.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
You thought the same thing though, right?
We both looked at each other and was like, what is happening?
Track 1 sounded a little Japanese. That's so. Dude, I didn't even know. Was it track 1?
Yeah, it had to be.
Yeah, it sounds like there's no CD.
Radio for it.
And then it does some weird stuff. We're like, what? This car is, dude, and it has 6 speakers. They got some we're just like, okay, beginning of Tokyo Drift. All right, I feel you. The car is very, very drivable at this height.
All right, they were copyrighted.
Yeah. But dude, no, this car drove so well this height. It didn't scrape, didn't rub. It was super comfy. I literally parked here just for this one photo that I'm about to take. Bet.
I tried to take pictures with the cops,
bro.
And got a little scared.
Gas, my guy, gas.
Yeah.
So good. This is basically the photo that I took. I just had to post it for my Twitter friends. You get the idea. I can't get over how much I love these gauges and this cluster. I need to actually hook these gauges up though so they do something.
The cluster makes me look cross-eyed.
Yeah, it looks so trippy when you're in a passenger seat because it's like kind of 3D-ish. So when you look at it from this angle, you like can't see it. It's weird. Oh my God. What's called accelerated camera wear.
Hell yeah.
Later.